Thatcher stood amidst the troops on her visit to Goose Green in January 1983. The air was thick with pride and remembrance. These men had fought for Britain's honor, securing a crucial victory just 7 months prior. As she shook hands with soldiers, her expression was firm, almost unshakable. But her eyes, if one looked closely, carried the weight of a leader who had sent young men to war. The Falklands War had changed everything for her. Some called her resolute, others ruthless. But in that moment, she was simply there, amid the echoes of sacrifice. Argentinian writer Jorge Luis Borges, reflecting on the conflict, once remarked that it was like two bald men fighting over a comb. A poetic yet cold description that stripped away the deep emotions of those who had lived it. In the midst of chaos, Navy Chaplain Luis Padilla moved with purpose, his heart pounding, his faith unshaken. Gunfire cracked through the streets of Venezuela as a revolt raged on. The cries of the wounded filled the air, yet he pressed forward, determined to offer last rites. A young soldier, bleeding, his body trembling, reached out. He clung to the priest's robe as if holding on to life itself. Padilla knelt beside him, whispering prayers, his hands steady despite the horror surrounding them. In that moment, war and faith collided, one seeking to destroy, the other to comfort. These two men, standing tall for the camera, were once bound by chains. The weight of their past was invisible but ever-present. Manumission had granted them freedom, but what did that truly mean? They borrowed fine clothes and hats for the photograph, posing with dignity, as if to prove their worth to a world that had once seen them as property. Their eyes, however, told a deeper story, a mix of pride, defiance, and an unspoken question. Now that we are free, what next? Simon Paris, or Ali Mahmoud, had lived a life of displacement. Born in either Congo or Senegal, he had arrived in Hungary as a little boy, his fate not his own to decide. First a servant, then a free man, yet never truly belonging. When his master died, did he grieve? Or did he see it as an opportunity to carve his own destiny? News reports of the time paint him as a curiosity, but behind that, there was a man, perhaps longing for home, a home that was now just a memory. A German cavalryman rode behind the front lines, gripping a steel lance, 3.2 meters of cold, hollow metal. He had trained for this, prepared for the weight of war, but did he ever question its purpose? The lance, though deadly, felt almost archaic in a world now ruled by bullets and artillery. Did he dream of a different life when he rested at night, or had war consumed him entirely? 15 faces, each marked with a quiet dread, huddled together in a dugout. Their hands gripped their rifles, but their thoughts were elsewhere. Maybe one was thinking of his mother's cooking, another of a lover he had left behind. They waited, not for victory, not even for survival, but simply for the next moment, the next breath. The enemy barrage would lift soon, and then they would fight. The rally in Munich's Odeonsplatz on August 2nd, 1914, was electric with fervor. A sea of faces, fists raised, voices shouting. But amid the patriotic cries, a single young man's eyes burned with something else, ambition. History would later recognize him, not as just another supporter, but as a man who would reshape the world in unimaginable ways. Heinrich Hoffmann's photograph captured the moment, unaware of the dark path it foreshadowed. Explosions roared, fire and smoke swallowing the sky. But was this real, or a scene meticulously staged for a camera? Wartime photos often blurred the line between truth and propaganda. Soldiers posed, explosions timed just right, an illusion of war, yet the fear in their eyes was genuine. Did they wonder how they would be remembered, or if they would be remembered at all? Even animals were not spared the horrors of war. Horses, mules, dogs, and pigeons, loyal, unsuspecting, thrown into the battlefield. The gas masks strapped to their faces were meant to protect them. But did they understand? Did they sense the fear of the men around them? The battlefield did not discriminate. Flesh was flesh, whether human or beast. Captured in black and white, a soldier grinned, playfully striking a pose with fake military props. War had stolen much, his comrades, his innocence. But for this brief moment, he reclaimed something: laughter. These portraits, collected by Professor Christopher B. Steiner, revealed a side of war rarely acknowledged. Not just death, but defiance. Not just fear, but moments of joy, however fleeting.